Wise Wednesdays started on April 1st with a humble episode on forgiveness. Between then and now, we've had heart-led conversations on happiness, stress management, relationships, resilience, public speaking, respecting boundaries, self-discovery, mindset, just being, listening, reclaiming your life, intuition, and even food. I would like to thank all my listeners and the guests who gave me their time and trust. It is because of you that we kept going. It is because of you that we kept growing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so, so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so, so much. And welcome today to episode 94 of Wise Wednesdays with RK. I have with me today somebody who's a maverick. She is Jennifer, and she is going to speak to us about trusting your own knowing. She's a LifeSuccess certified coach, a Reiki master, energy and empowerment master mentor, Theta healer, teacher, practitioner, consciousness facilitator. I could go out of breath sharing all that she's done, but beyond all of that, she is a beautiful soul, somebody I really felt a strong connection with, and it was magical how on first conversation I said, Jennifer, you have to be on Wise Wednesdays with RK because you are such a wise soul. So without further ado, I bring to you Jennifer. Thank you so much for being with us today.
What a cute introduction. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. And thank you for saying yes. I mean, I think the season wouldn't have been complete without this conversation. Thank you for saying yes for my humble invite.
Totally humbled and appreciate everything that you're doing. Pretty good stuff.
Thank you. And today we are talking about trusting your own knowing. And it's beautiful because I think there was this level of trust of knowing for myself that, yes, I'd like for you to be on the show and how we can, add so much of value and conversation to the people who are watching us and sharing with us. So thank you.
I think this knowing and trusting your knowing has been an interesting journey personally for me because most of the time we are constantly looking at what it is that our mind keeps telling us. And we keep forgetting that we have this inner voice that is very powerful, that sometimes wants to nudge us into getting to know what it is we're here to do. But most of the time, our minds are so strong and fixed that it just comes in and stops us from anything new. So, the way that I like to look at it, and the way that I have learned this for myself, being a victim of all kinds of things. So, no one is born with all this knowing.
Mm,
The weirdest thing is that all of us have this innate knowing within us.
true.
But I think most essentially it is about awakening that within
Mm,
us.
right.
And I like to make a very slight distinction here is like knowing is our innate ability. We are born with it.
Mm,
Okay. However, knowledge is sometimes what we misinterpret. Knowledge is something that we learn while we're here.
correct.
Okay. So if we can bring the knowing and the knowledge together, it'll be brilliant.
Hmm.
And that is what it is that I'd like to actually talk about today, and how it is that we can not restrict ourselves from our own awakening,
Hmm.
because we're here to awaken.
And as you were sharing that, bringing the knowing and the knowledge together, I feel trust would be that bridge that brings it together, right?
Very true. But the thing is this, that do we really trust
Hmm.
what has been shown to us? And I think one of the reasons is, and that's what I found it in my personal journey of actually tapping into it, was that our minds are extremely strong.
Hmm.
I love what Osho said. He said that mind is a dangerous master.
Hmm.
And if we ever were to give up our own knowing for what the mind is actually telling us. Because, I mean, what is the mind? The mind, a powerful tool, but
True.
we have got to be the beings that use that tool. You get it?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
the beings is who we are, who really will tap into that knowing. So, for example, um, have you ever had that situation where you just know that something is going to occur? You just
Hmm.
know that whatever it is you were brought into a situation, you just knew that something would really occur or happen. Many of us have, but
Yes.
then we brush it aside and say, "Oh, it was fluke. No, it just
Yeah.
happened."
It just
No,
happened.
but that's the part that we've got to look at and actually step into digging deep. I'm very curious by nature,
Hmm.
very curious. And I
Yes.
think curiosity is the most essential thing. Anyone can actually learn to actually be curious. But if you're not curious, it's almost being childlike in your curiosity.
Yep.
So at every step, we can actually see ourselves as a novice, right?
Hmm.
A person who really doesn't know, and yet a person who knows with the knowledge one is acquired. But if we are going to constantly think that we have all the answers, that's
Hmm.
the end of our own brilliance. So
True
I
that.
think it's tapping into that unique aspect of ourselves because I truly believe that it's your uniqueness that actually makes a major difference. And each one of us is unique. So why are we not willing to actually look into that? Because that is where our brilliance is.
Hmm.
Maybe where you're unique is where you're brilliant. Now look at you. You do a remarkable job with talking to all of us and sharing the stage with such amazing people and forgetting how amazing you are.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Sometimes.
it's more about trusting that and
Yep.
knowing that we are here to make that difference. It's only when you can tap into your knowing and trusting that and recognizing that you are unique unto yourself is when the floodgates open up and you walk through knowing who you are. And by the way, that is not ego. Okay.
No.
It's you knowing you
Hmm. That's
authentically.
a very
Okay.
important point that you brought in, because sometimes we play small, thinking, "Am I coming from a place of ego? Am I coming from a place of pride?" And so we kind of shy down or play small and say that,
I
"Okay,
think
I'm not going to
exactly,
be doing this."
exactly. And then again, okay, if you look at it, where is that coming from? It's coming from our thinking. So
Hmm.
we have been conditioned onto the core of this is the right way of doing it, this is the wrong way of doing it, you must do this, otherwise you're that. Can you see there's always this
Conditioning.
constant battle, and it's all in the mind,
Hmm.
right? So that's why the way that I look at it and the way that I have actually trained myself is like as soon as the mind starts coming up and giving us all this wisdom or gyan, as I would like to call it, is
Yes.
I'd love to take the mind and say, listen, sweetheart, thank you very much for being there. But I'm going to keep you on a leash and I'm going to keep you behind me. When I need you, my love, I will call on you.
Love that. And it's beautiful because you probably know I'm known as the smile strategist, and the very first step in the smile strategy is silence your mind.
Absolutely.
And it's no coincidence that that is it, and it's not something that I researched or kind of worked papers and papers of conversation and
Mm,
content, sifting through information to get to that. It was more of something that I received as a download. It was something I acquired while I sat down in silence. So very
exactly.
often that knowingness does show up when you are open to receive it.
Mm,
And as we talk about receiving, we have already received our very first question, and it
wonderful.
is, does knowledge limit us? I like that. Thank you. Thank
That
you so
is
much.
an amazing question. Thank you for asking,
Kunen.
Kunan. Okay, Kunan, please get me right when I'm saying this. Knowledge has got its place. Knowing has got its place. But if you can use your knowing to acquire the knowledge that will enhance you, then that is something that you must look at. because
Hmm.
everything, you see, we don't go into this either or scenario, which most of the time we go into. This is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad. It's nothing like this. To be consciously aware, which is what I talk about most importantly, is in consciousness, nothing is ever judged.
Hmm.
Nothing is right, nothing is wrong. Everything just is. You see, it's our perception that creates the distinction.
I like that.
Okay? So there's nothing wrong. Use, again, use knowledge to your advantage, but first get to know who you be.
Hmm.
Your brilliance is where that is. Okay? Get to know who you be unapologetically. Show up, otherwise you'll blow up. Quite honestly, inside you'll probably blow up. You're like, oh my
Exactly.
God, what's going on? Why is this going on? Nothing happens to us. The weirdest
Hmm.
thing is this: nothing happens to us.
It's
We are
happening
the
for us.
creators of our reality.
True, we are. And it's happening for us. It's just that a lot of times we miss out that it's happening for us because we are so busy trying to figure out why is this happening to me?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we're asking,
The
asking
the
the wrong
victim the
questions.
victim mode. You ain't a victim by any standpoint. You are a victor. You were born to be that. And I like to share this particular thing that I wrote. It is this, that all of us are infinite beings.
Hmm.
So by default, there are no faults. If we
I
are
like
created
that.
in the image of God, right? So if you're created in his image, by default, there is no fault. What is it that makes us think that we are wrong and judge ourselves out of existence? Is the way that we have been thinking. So I like one of my mentors says, thinking is actually stinking.
I like-
So
this is
don't
good.
give your thoughts so much power. You are the
Hmm.
power, you are the potency. And when you get to know who you be and then do, it's a totally different ballgame. You are at more ease, you have more joy, you are more in sync with everything that's going on. You do not become the effect of anything.
Hmm.
You become the brilliance that contributes to everything.
Hmm.
That's what you got to look at.
Lovely. And I think a lot of times we belittle miracles by calling them coincidences. Say,
Hmm.
oh, that just happened. No, 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 that didn't just happen. That was synchronicity showing you itself.
Yeah.
That was divine intervention. And you made it happen either by thinking that way or being in that vibration and
Yeah.
creating it.
Allowing you to receive you as the gift,
Exactly.
because you're not a fault. You're not faulty. Now,
Nope.
if the weirdest thing is this, if you were to if you're created in the image of God, all of us believe that, then would God create something faulty?
Hmm.
I mean,
I wouldn't.
it's ridiculous to even actually go down that path
Yes, it
to
is.
actually to make yourself wrong. And I think most of the time we are judging ourselves really
Hmm.
so much that we are not even aware of what it is we do. And I think awareness is the most important thing. And asking questions for me has helped me to get out of my own way, literally.
Hmm. I like
Okay,
that.
Be- because if you don't ask questions, and the other thing that people must get, and I think it will be really cool to actually suggest this to people, is if you have made a choice and something did not go down that well, okay, essentially, please flip all your conclusions as to this is wrong, this is right, this is good, this is bad, I should have done this way, I don't have enough manpower, I don't have money, I don't have whatever. Flip all those conclusions that you have into questions. It may sound something like this. So, what am I being made aware of here?
Hmm.
What have I not considered yet? You know? So it's when you ask those kind of questions, you are not making you wrong. You are recognizing the fact that whatever occurred was an experience. That experience is not you. So please don't make you wrong for it. And what if that was a stepping stone for you to become your brilliance? It's always a learning, it's never a failure. I remember you saying that.
Thank you. Thank you for remembering. Yes, it is. So tell us a little bit about the Maverick CEO, because that really jumps at me and I love it. So tell me
Okay.
about that. Tell us
So,
about that.
so why did I say I was a maverick? Now, I have, as I told you, been very much into being curious, and I cannot settle for something as something permanent. For me, permanence means that I'm stagnating, starting to
Hmm.
stagnate. Okay. I had a lot of amazing experiences with my personal life, with my health, with my daughter's health. She's with Down syndrome, Sasha. She's 35 years old. She had open heart surgery, and all I kept on thinking is, God, why me? Why did you
Hmm.
do this? I mean, what did I do wrong? All those kind of questions that one asks about, again, making you wrong and judging yourself out of existence, till I discovered that Sasha was a gift to me, and she actually has helped me to do what I do today. Okay. I had to turn myself into becoming this putty, like plasticine, like putty,
Yep.
to
Moldable.
be exactly malleable, changeable. Okay. Um, in my business, I was known as the headhunter. I was known for Focus Direct, the company that I run today for the past like 22 years, as a person who was brilliant in recruitment. That's what we did. Till 2013, everything shifted and changed because I was changing. Okay.
Hmm.
So business was going well, everything was in order, and I thought something was wrong with me. So I called in the experts from outside, the consultants, to check on me, to find out what I was doing wrong. Okay. The funny thing is this, I gave them complete carte blanche. I said, go ahead and do whatever it is that you have to do. But I need to know, what am I doing that is not working?
Hmm.
So they went out, and the suppliers, the clients, the staff, operational systems, the whole 9 yards, they checked out. And then they came back after 2 weeks and said, Jennifer, we can't find anything wrong. Everything is spot on. And I thanked them and I said, so you're telling me that everything's okay? And they said, yes. And their job was done.
Hmm.
Till I had to turn inward instead of outward, which is usually how we all operate. Everyone has looking for validation from outside for you to really get to know, oh, I am this and I am that. Hell no. I was already that. Okay. But
Absolutely.
then why was I miserable? I
Hmm.
was not happy. I had reached the pinnacle of whatever. And then I flipped. That's the time that I had to flip inward and actually look at me closely. So that's why when you read all those different things that I've done, all those things were done to get to know me better. Okay, because for the longest time ever, I was known as Sasha's mom.
Hmm.
I didn't have any sort of who was Jennifer. Jennifer's, oh, Sasha's mom. Okay, cool. Okay, and Jennifer the recruiter, yeah. But my question to everyone is this: what if you were with multiple facets? Okay, who said that you could only be one thing? So
True.
I now am actually, I help recruiters to recruit effectively. I help candidates to help them find the jobs effectively and how to go about doing it. I do courses and trainings for that. But then it was also about, if you have different facets and you have polished just one of those facets and then called yourself the recruiter or call yourself the mom, what
Hmm.
about the different facets that you have in a diamond? And what if you are a diamond? Okay. And what if we were, and what the universe does is it actually gives us this bumps. So I always say, when the universe is giving you a nudge, it is to budge. Okay, so don't sit on your laurels and think that this is who I am and that's it. It's about really waking up and
Taking
shaking
forward.
up. God knows COVID has done a remarkable job to wake up and shake up everyone, everything, right? So when we are woken up, that's the nudge that we're getting
Hmm.
to budge, to take us into the other facet. And I keep asking people, so how many facets do you have that actually could truly become appreciable assets?
Hmm. Agree.
So we have hardly any questions coming up.
Oh no, no, we do. You
Okay,
were
okay,
speaking,
cool.
so I didn't bring that
Okay,
up
cool.
because I didn't want to
Okay,
interrupt you. We have a
okay, cool.
question where Kunan says, "But is it possible to stop judging? We've been conditioned to judge." And yes,
Okay, I'd love to answer that. And my question to you is this, because I love to ask questions. I'm known as the question queen because I quite believe that everyone within them already has all the answers. So to try and help you to figure this one out, is it possible to stop judging? First and foremost, if you were to ask this question of yourself, whose story are you actually running? Is it your story, or is it someone has projected that you are not valuable and worthy, or is it your story of you considering yourself totally wrong?
hmm,
And let me just put one caveat there and say, what if every place that you considered yourself wrong is where you are amazingly strong and afraid to actually step into it? That is the knowing we're talking about.
hmm,
Okay, conditions, you are not a victim. You are an amazing being with amazing possibilities. So please do not judge you. And if you'd like to talk to me, if with Rukaya's permission,
please,
um,
yes.
I'd like to have a more detailed chat because in this short space, I don't think I can cover how to get rid of judging yourself because I would truly like to help people with doing that.
Done. And I think sometimes it's not just about judging ourselves. Sometimes we also judge others.
Yeah, but it is more about, so then again, it comes back to thinking, right? So
Yep.
if you're conditioned in a certain way, and this is right and this is wrong, then you will always, the mind will always take you into that parameter of judgment, okay, which is going to make something right and something wrong, which does not allow you to really question you.
Hmm.
Okay, I think questioning is the most vital thing that people should learn to do, and it's an actual art form to be able to question you without making you wrong.
Right.
Okay, so if there's an experience that you've had and it's not, and you think that is not really cool, you know what, you have the biggest gift God has given, and that is the gift of choice.
Hmm.
If you can't choose, because if you're not choosing, guess what, the choices will automatically fill in the void and keep on repeating. So what is it that you're not willing to choose if you knew that you could not lose?
Hmm. And not choosing is also a choice, isn't it?
Absolutely. Because then you're running the same frigging pattern. You're like a hamster on the wheel and
Right.
expecting a different result. Like Albert Einstein says, doing the same way, same
Over and
thing
over
over
again.
and over again actually is insanity. Because you're trying to, what's going on is you're trying to figure out a solution by the same way of thinking that created the solution in the first place.
Hmm.
Is that going to work? Hell
Nope.
no.
No. Hell no. Absolutely not. And we have another question from Vidya. She says, "What if we are just average in the multiple facets we have? This notion may come as a result of criticism and being taken for granted."
Vidya, my dearest, thank you for that question. We all have got multiple assets. It is your choice to actually shine it through. So keep rubbing at it. Keep asking questions. If you want help, give us a call.
Hmm.
This notion, again, notion may
May
come
come.
as a result of criticism. Yes, of course. The question is, Do you know and do you trust yourself? This is the amazing topic we're talking about. So, how do you get to know yourself? Is what it is I'm going to actually reveal right now. So,
Hmm.
now every single time you have that little sensation that, okay, let me just make it in simple context. If you're home and you're busy cooking, okay, and someone comes in, the husband comes in, or the kids come in, do you sometimes sense that something is not right? Okay. Maybe they've had a bad heyday. Maybe they did not enjoy something at work. Maybe the spouse is upset. But do you not sense that? It's a sensing. It's not a feeling, it's a sensing. Do you sense the tension of the person coming in without them saying a word and without you asking something? I'm talking about that is sensing, and that is from where knowing stems. We already are so psychic, Vidya. We pick up things like this. You will know when someone is upset with you. You will know when someone is irritated with you. You will also know when someone is really thinking of you in a brilliant way. And most of the time, we are not willing to receive that. Okay? We do not want to receive that. Yeah, vibes are strong. There you go. You're calling it vibes, I'm calling it sensing, we can call it knowing. All the same things, but we are so amazing that we pick up. Guess what? We all are psychic. And I'm talking about actually sharpening our psychic abilities to really get to know our brilliance. So we can step into eliminating all the judgment, getting to know who we are, shine our brilliance, and that's what makes the difference. Because if you're not doing that, guys, we are genuinely robbing the world of our genius. It's about
Absolutely.
time.
So, Caroline,
Meditation
listening
and
in,
silence.
thank you, says meditation and silence has been helpful for me. And
It's wonderful. Again, it's
we've got,
about silencing the mind.
yes, it is. And Priscilla says, love the cooking analogy. Thank you so much for joining us. Guys, if you're new to the channel and if you're tuning in just for the first time on the platform, do subscribe and give the host a little pat on the back by subscribing, please. And
She's
we
doing a
have
good job.
we've got questions pouring in. This is beautiful. So this one is a question by Kunal again. He says, what's the difference between choice and decision?
There's hardly any, just the terminology. A
Hmm.
decision is something, now, a choice, I'll just give you, it's a very fine line, okay? So a choice is something, for example, if you're choosing, okay, I'm choosing to go to the movies,
Hmm.
okay? Or something more serious, I'm choosing to look for a new job, or I'm choosing to get married, okay?
Hmm.
So now, if you meet the girl and the girl is really not up to the mark and you don't get that vibe or that knowing,
Hmm.
okay, okay, and you say, I really don't think so, but you know what? I have to get married. Now, that have to get married will become into the decision
Decision.
area, okay? I have to. There's nothing that you have to do anything, okay? You have choice and you can choose. So if you're going to a movie and there's a movie that your girlfriend or boyfriend or lover or husband, whoever wants to see, and you don't really like it, would you actually delete yourself to try and help other people feel good about it?
But
Where
then
are
we
you
do
in the
that.
equation?
But then we do that.
Always,
We're going to play the devil's advocate here. We tend to do that very often.
all
As
the time.
moms, as wives, as sometimes as subordinates, we tend to do that.
Yeah, because we're always wanting to be liked. And we
Ah,
want validation and we want everyone to like us, even if we are not liking ourselves. Like me, I didn't like me. So I called other people to check on me. You know what I'm saying?
yep.
And I'm not ashamed to even talk about it because it helped me to get out of my own way. It's necessary to do that, guys. Don't make you wrong because God
Hmm.
knows you are damn strong.
Yes, you are.
You really
Yes,
are.
yes, you are. Whew, I like that. Now, this is the perfect place to ask this question. Priscilla says, what is your take on being in the here and now? And I
I
will
think
get
it's
to
the
the next
most
question.
it's really a cool way to be. It's about being, it's not doing. We
Yep.
try to do everything in the here and now. First, it's about being. Can you be authentically you without an apology? And then do whatever it is that actually turns you on. I call
Hmm.
it, I asked the question the other day, and I said, so what's the energy of joy? And the thing that actually showed up was it's energy plus joy means you need
Joy.
to enjoy. So why are we not choosing to enjoy
I love that.
our life?
I
Our life,
knew
we are
it.
supposed to be celebrating our life and living, not invalidating ourselves based on other people's points of views about us. So we have to get over it. And I've got an amazing tool that I'd like to share with everyone, if I have your permission.
Oh, please,
For,
yes.
for every thought, feeling, and emotion, and this I got from actually getting. This is how I got out of my own way and not coming to conclusions.
Hmm.
And I've learned this from the most remarkable teacher that I have had the pleasure of working with and knowing, Gary Douglas from Access Consciousness, an amazing human being. And one thing he said, Jennifer, if you can, for 3 days, just try. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. For every thought, feeling, and emotion that shows up, after some time, you will have no thoughts, no feelings, and emotions that will trigger you. So I said, okay, fine, big deal. Try doing it. Holy moly. You will
Hmm.
forget. But you know what, guys? Actually give it a shot. Really give it a shot. Okay? I did it then for 6 months, and then I did it for 2 years, every single day.
Hmm.
Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Pocket pot. There's a pocket pot everywhere I created it, everywhere that I'm destroying myself as a result of it, everywhere that I'm doing whatever drama. Because I think we have this interesting way of living with drama and trauma and intrigue and upset and oh my God. No, give that up. Seriously. Start enjoying your life. Start
True.
celebrating you.
Hmm.
And I've got a lot of tools that I like to share with people if they're interested, because I work with people to help them to get out of their own way, because I actually was able to do that for me.
Hmm. Tell us more about how the experience of that practice was, and what essentially do people have to do, like a step by step, if that's okay with you.
Okay, first and foremost, there's no step by step. It's about being in the moment, like Priscilla said. It's
Yep.
about when you catch yourself going into this, I don't know why this is happening to me.
Hmm.
Oh my God, she said that to me. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. Pock and pod. Just go, pock and pod. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Because sometimes we have this, oh, I will hesitate to ask because if I ask, then I will be made wrong and I'll be judged for it.
Hmm.
Right? Many people go to that. God knows I did. Okay. I'm here to share how I was the biggest um, misfix it on the planet. I had to have everything perfect. Okay. If it was not perfect, I was wrong or someone else was wrong.
Hmm.
Invariably, someone else was wrong because I had to push the
Y-
blame. Okay,
Yeah,
the
you can't
blame
take
game.
credit.
The one thing that I can say when you do this interesting point of view, I have this point of view for as much as you can, just give it a shot. Quite honestly, you will not be triggered and become the effect of anybody's whatever they're saying, whatever anyone is doing, because you then have choice that gets a voice for you to
Hmm.
share and actually be you unapologetically, literally.
Yeah.
So that's the knowing when you can get out of all the drama, the trauma, the intrigue, the upset, all those interesting points of views that you have either bought into or have been perpetuated on you, or all the drama that you think you have to be part of, then you'll be acknowledged and liked. Please get rid of that. By interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Profit
End of it.
Halas,
Kalas.
literally, and
Done.
and that nothing has to be so strenuous, or I have to get up at 6 o'clock or 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock and I have to do something. This you can do at any time, because that when you can do it at any time is you being in the moment. Halas.
Yeah. like
You're
a
not
mic
waiting.
drop moment, isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly. Don't wait. Start to create your own life and living. You are the CEO you of your life and living. So the maverick is a person, to come back to that. The maverick
Hmm.
is a person who's a change maker, who thinks outside the box, who breaks status quo. Okay. The CEO is not the chief executive officer. That's boring.
Nah, of course.
Okay.
That would have
It's
been too boring. Simple
been
for
there,
you.
done that. So the CEO, the way I looked at it, and I authored and I actually did an audiobook, being the CEO of your life and living. The CEO stands for consciousness, empowering, orchestrator. That's me. I help people to really get to know their own brilliance because I truly believe that's what makes the difference.
True that. And we've got comments rolling in. People are loving this. Thank you guys for engaging, for sending us your questions. Caroline says, rocking it, Rukaya, rocking. Rukaya, she says, yes, people pleasing was a big revelation in meditation. Thank you. And she's also jumped ahead and sent you a request on LinkedIn. She says she loves how you're speaking. We've got Vidya who says, profound and rhyming. Love the way you speak, Jennifer. Yes, indeed. She is
Thank you, Vidya.
magnificent.
Thank you.
Okay, there's more. Brilliant. There is one more comment says, the victim mode is all about the drama. Yes, it is. It is all about the drama and the trauma and everything else that goes with it. So thank you
And
guys
then you
for
have to get full of intrigue, and then you really have to get upset, and then you have to make you wrong, and then you have to go through that rabbit hole of desperation. Where there's desperation, there ain't no inspiration, guys.
Ah, yes. Where there is desperation, there is no inspiration. Exactly. They can't coexist.
They
Also,
can't.
when you're blaming somebody else
You're
or
doing this,
yourself, yeah, and it
pointing back at you. So
exactly.
then ask what's good about this I'm not getting, because when you're blaming somebody, it is more about again having to prove a point that you're right to make them
Mm,
wrong. Can you see
exactly.
when you
Yep.
say interesting point of view, all this drama of having to prove a point is eliminated.
Hmm.
You have to allow yourself to receive you unapologetically, the good, the bad, and the ugly about you.
Hmm.
Just look at it. Once
Yep.
you acknowledge, this is not working for me, guess what? It has no charge over you. But if you're going the drama of it, then it has to have a charge, and then you go back onto the hamster wheel and actually get frustrated and irritated and aggravated.
I've always wondered, why do hamsters on the wheel never get thin?
I beg your
It's
pardon, I
a,
didn't get that.
it's, it's a very out of context question, but maybe I'm just
Go for
just
it.
playing silly. Why do hamsters on the wheel never grow thin? I mean, they're forever running, for
I
heaven's sake.
know. It's interesting because they are attuned biologically to actually
Hmm.
operate like that. It's really amazing how the mind, the body, and the being actually work in total synchronicity if they are allowed to. So now the hamster on the wheel has decided that that's the way he has to be.
Hmm.
Halas. So he's
And
choosing the same thing over and over again, getting the same results, and the same results is he is actually going to be the way he is,
hmm. and
not
it's
not getting
interesting.
slim.
And it's interesting that you have an answer for even that. Now, guys, do you know why I said I had that knowing that she has to be on the show? Lovely.
It's really cool to actually look and to ask yourself questions because the way that I have learned is to get out of my own way. I had to ask a whole lot of questions, and quite honestly, in the beginning, it was a major pain. Oh my God. It's like, Jennifer, how the hell can you ask these questions of yourself? You are supposed to be this. How can you belittle you? It was not belittling, it was unveiling the part of me that was knowing, which I had limited by shutting me down, by having conclusions hold me back instead of stepping out and being bold.
Yeah, I think because we all have this understanding that this is how I am supposed to be. For instance, I'll give you a simple example. Before I got into personal development, public speaking, and all of that, I have had a good stretch of run in the media industry as a journalist. I
Okay.
never asked run of the mill questions. I've had opportunities of sitting across the table with CEOs and decision makers and asking them questions for a simple interview, which people would probably not ask. I ended up asking my most favorite question to ask everybody, it had been and still is, the significance of the pause. I mean, I'm walking into a meeting to speak to somebody about their new product that they've launched, and out of the blue comes this question on the pause and other things. And I actually had Dr. Mupin tell me, I enjoyed this conversation. He said he would give me only 15 minutes of his time, and I sat in his office and I spoke to him for a whole hour.
Mm.
And as I was done, and I asked him, "Sir, do you think we're complete in this conversation?" And he says, "Yes, we are." And it's interesting because I thought you would ask me the same question, and I was ready to run on the treadmill of the same questions that come to me, but you actually made me switch off the machine, take a seat, think, and reply to you. So thank you
Mm.
for this
Mm.
time. I was like,
True.
okay. So yeah, it's
It's
interesting.
really interesting. It's and being in recruitment, okay, one has to ask those questions because sometimes your clients will say, "This is the job description," and I'm telling them, "Thank you very much for the job description. It's a nice document of what it is that you desire of your candidate. However, I'm here to ask you some more pertinent questions. Can you tell me why the person who was in the job actually left?"
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
you're not getting a cut, copy, and paste situation.
Yeah.
Every human being is unique, and it is more about not the skill set because skill sets can be matched, but it's the attitude and the aptitude that actually will create the brilliance of what it is you would like to achieve.
Yeah.
You know, so
And
people have
also
to ask questions.
and the right questions, not questions of victimhood, but more of questions of victorhood, where they understand that they are the victor in their life.
Yeah, and it's sometimes in very, for example, I have a question. Cool.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you with that.
How can we avoid negative sensing of others?
Yes.
Okay,
But
this
you
is
were
a
saying
cool.
something else before you even jump into the question. Sorry to interrupt you with that question, but
No, no
you were
issue.
saying
No, what
something.
I'm saying, let me answer that, then we can go back.
Sure.
Um, First and foremost, what if there was no negative and there was no positive? What if everything was just is? Okay, it's our mental parameters that differentiate the goodness and the badness and the wrongness and the rightness. Okay, now if you think that you are sensing negative things of people, why are you associating with them? Okay, just a question because again, you have the answers. I haven't got his name.
Kunen.
Kunain. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, but you know what? You're so powerful. You can actually choose to actually have the people who help you to be grander than what you are.
Hmm.
But you're talking to two women over here who've got your back, for God's sake. Okay, so give us a call and let's have a chat. Okay, what was I saying? Now I've forgotten what I was saying. My memory.
You were talking about the questions that people ask in victimhood and being a victor.
Yeah. So now again, um, if we can just get one thing in our beautiful brains, in our mind, and recognize just this one thing. Okay, nothing more, just one thing. That everything that you have experienced was something that was you created. Okay.
Hmm.
Now the creation, if it is not a revelation of who you are, guess what? You have a choice to change it. Okay. So now we have situations where people would say, this thing happened to me and I just do not know how to do anything about it. Now, the funny thing is that the same thing will go on repeating and go on repeating, go on repeating because no one is choosing. If you're not choosing, as you mentioned earlier, that's a choice too.
Correct.
So if you can question yourself quite honestly and say, okay, fine, you know what? Okay, this thing has occurred, but do not make you wrong, do not judge you. recognize that you are the creator of that thing that didn't work out. Now ask yourself this question: if you created something that didn't work out, are you not powerful enough to create something that does? And to
Hmm.
do that, you got to choose something different. Simple. So,
Hmm.
what is it that I'm not aware of that if I was to be aware of would change my reality instantaneously? Good question to ask.
Absolutely. Brilliant question to ask. And people are loving CEO, consciousness empowering orchestrator. Kunan wants to be that person. He says, loving it. I would like to be a CEO. Done. Caroline says, yes, being in receiving mode, dissolves resistance. Priscilla says, it's a flow. Duality merges from the mind level. We are so much more than otherness. I like that. I like that.
Cool.
Otherness.
Great, Caroline. I shall connect and then we can have a great conversation together. We'll bring
Yes, and it,
Rukaya in.
oh, actually, guys, if you're watching, Caroline's going to be on the show very soon. In fact, I think we are scheduled in for March 16th for her to be on the show. So
Wonderful.
lovely.
We
You
shall
can.
come and play together.
Yes, yes, please. Okay, we got one more question coming in. He says, "Is there any course to attend? Do you conduct access conscious bars sessions?" And also, Caroline's coming to Dubai very soon, so we should meet
Cool.
up all three of us together.
Yeah, I think we could have a great conversation. I can put you in touch with someone who can do your access bars. In fact, I do them as well. Um, uh, I have a course also that helps you to get out of your way.
Mm.
I call it the UPS, which is your unique, setting a unique strategic plan for yourself.
Cool.
Uh, Always evolving, always changing, always celebrating you.
Hmm. I like that. So Caroline says, "Have a live. It will be fun. Brilliant." I wanted to share with you my experience. I think it was a second experience of access bars, and it was done distantly
Okay.
with a healer I absolutely trust. With my eyes closed, she'd done it, and I felt her hands, like as you
Mm.
say, we're all one. And this was done distantly. This was not
Mm.
done together. Like
Usually, bars are not done distantly because it's a hands-on process.
it is. However, the person that she did it for me distantly, and I could sense her hands while she
Mm.
was doing it. That
Maybe she
was
did
for me.
something else. Was it Access Bars or was it the
It was.
SOP,
It
the
was access
Symphony of
bars.
Possibility?
Access bars. Access bars. I mean, it was the first time I actually experienced something like that. And it was more of a learning process for her. So she said, "Would you be open for me to do this for you?" And I said, absolutely. Like I said, I trust her with my eyes closed. I said, "Why not?" So we did it, and I could actually sense it. For me, I was mind blown. It was
Mm.
beautiful.
It's really cool. And it's about unraveling those interests. It's almost like deleting your hard drive,
Yes.
which is your mind, and it
Hmm.
actually gives you a lot of comfort.
Yes.
It's true.
I think, as you say that deleting your hard drive, there's so much that we hold on to, right? There's so much of emotion, so much of experiences that we hold on to, and then it kind of weighs us down.
So how
And
is that
then,
helping you?
oh, it is,
It
it isn't, it isn't. So let me get to where I am going with this one. It weighs you down, and it kind of clogs or kind of overrides your ability to trust your own knowing,
Mm.
right?
Absolutely, because it's almost like a drain. Okay, you have a drain that is functioning perfectly, and then you had a shower, and all the hair is getting stuck and clogged. So it's about unclogging yourself, and the only way to unclog it is by recognizing that the drain is clogged, the mind is clogged. Okay, so if it's clogged, what is the next step you would like to do? Is unclog it, right? So by
Yeah.
recognizing that, is this actually working for me or is it working against me?
Mm.
Being that, see, it's You are energy. You and me and everyone is energy first. Our first language is energy, okay?
Right.
And the universe will only respond to the vibrational energy that you be. So that's
Hmm.
why being is the most important thing. Who are you being in this situation? And then what are you doing comes after that. Because you can keep trying and doing that's being on the hamster wheel, but your energetic capacity and is so volatile because you're still thinking that it's not going to work, but you carry on doing it. It's ridiculous. Okay.
Hmm.
So be in in the space of you really wanting to see you as different, to empower you to know that you know. That's what it is all about. It's not about anyone telling you anything. No, it's about you getting to your own knowing. And that is what questioning does. I always say that there are, like Gary would always say, there are no stupid questions. There are only stupid people who don't ask questions.
Ah,
And
I
he
like that.
looked at me and he looked at me and said, does that mean you? I said, hell yeah, because I don't want to ask you a question right now. Okay. But it's giving permission to yourself to
Hmm.
really unravel, unravel and awaken to your own brilliance. I mean, we all are brilliant. And if you could just imagine this, Rika, I was talking to Anita the other day, and I said to her, I said, can you imagine that if each one of us was to perceive ourselves as a piece of a puzzle that creates the tapestry called the universe? And if each one of us was to awaken and to recognize the value that that piece that we are as the tapestry, to create that tapestry is,
Hmm.
and awakens to that. Can you imagine the brilliance of that tapestry that the universe is created through? I mean, can you just fathom the gorgeousness? Literally. It gives me the chills and the jitters to even for each and every one of us to awaken to our brilliance is truly what is going to make a difference on this planet. And now is the time.
True.
You've got to. Can I say something about you?
About me?
Mhm.
Yes. Yes, please.
I'd like to
Yes.
make an announcement, ladies and gentlemen. You are looking at the new city chair for G100 Oneness and Wisdom chapter in the UAE. So, congratulations, madam. I am so honored to have you
Thank you.
as the city chair.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sweetheart.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was a big one. And to be in the company of you, of Dr. Anita, Dr. Harbeen, and all the lovely sisters that I've worked with on WEF and the Journey Forward G100 is so, so beautiful.
Mm.
And to be part of it from the city of Sharjah, the city that says, "Smile, you are in Sharjah." I mean, for me, that was the cherry on the cake. Thank, thank you. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
You're very welcome. We look so forward to working together and creating the brilliance of our oneness and wisdom, bringing everyone together to recognize that we are all one at the end of the day.
Yes.
That's the
And
wisdom that we need to share.
yes, it definitely is. And as you were sharing that about awakening yourself, being that light, that understanding, that tapestry, what came to my mind was when you go to a concert
Mm.
and it's dark and people use their torch on their mobile to light up, and how beautiful that looks. So imagine if everybody woke up to it, but you have patches of darkness when some people are not participating because they're too cool to do that or their phones have died. So in either case, it's those who participate in that exercise or that joy, who enjoy the concert with
Totally.
with their presence and their being will is are the ones who are lighting up and they're shining bright. Those who
Absolutely.
aren't just aren't. So yeah,
And then
that
again, we've got to accept the fact that there's their choice and
yeah,
not
it's a
have a point of view about it.
yeah,
Everyone will, as Gary would say, you'll get it when you get it. No one has to be forced into anything.
true.
And that's the brilliance of being consciously aware.
True, true, true. So thank you for the stream of congratulations coming in. Thank you, Vidya. Thank you, Caroline. And we have, okay, before I jump into the question, we've got some comments coming in from Caroline. She says, toxicity as energy blocks creations. Therefore, clearing it from the mind, body, emotional body, physical body is super important. True that. Thank you for sharing. And I believe this would be the last question of the evening. This is Kunan who asks, is it really possible to delete all unpleasant experiences, memories, traumas, and limiting beliefs? Thank you for the question.
It
Oh,
is.
there's
It
one
is
more from him.
okay.
Yes.
It is possible to delete everything that does not work for you, and it can only occur if you do not doubt that you can.
Hmm.
Okay, because your mind right now, the mind is asking all these amazing questions, which is cool. But you've got the ability and the capacity to actually not let any of these control you.
Hmm.
When you become the CEO of your life and living, honey, that's what occurs. Everyone is entitled to their point of view. Everyone is entitled to whatever they say, whatever they do. But do you have to be the effect of anything that anyone is saying? That is you getting to know you. And that's the knowing that you got to trust.
And she adds a gem. She says, surrender to the next level of excellence, next stage
Totally.
of excellence.
What I did was I was invited to co-author a book called How the Phoenix Rose. And
Hmm.
I asked because I'd never written anything to anyone ever. And I sat down there quietly and I asked, what is the title that will inspire? And what I got was A Journey of Surrender. Okay. God knows I've been through all kinds of things. I mean, all kinds of things. Losing a home, being in the war, being all over, a daughter having open heart surgery, three major surgeries, myself being totally incapacitated for 8 months, being a vegetable. And yet, coming out of that,
Hmm.
that's when the maverick was born, coming out of that. And all of us have a maverick
Oh,
in
yes,
us.
we do. Yes, we
And it's about time that we awaken that maverick within us, because
do. True
that's
that.
what's going to make the difference, guys.
That definitely is going to make the difference. It's about trusting your own knowing.
No, voila, that's right.
And one more. What exactly is the building block of the universe? Energy, consciousness, or intelligence?
All three.
Hmm.
Consciousness is the supreme commander. Everything else follows after that. Okay?
Yep.
Consciousness will give you the energy for you to actually use your intelligence in the right direction that will take you forward into whatever it is that you're choosing to create, generate, and actualize in and as your life. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, I hope so too. Thank you, Lata, for joining us. She says powerful statements. Indeed, they are because they are so true, authentic, and coming from a place of consciousness. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for joining us. In closing, what would you like to share with the listeners?
Could you please allow you to have fun? Life is not supposed to be a pain, a drain, all because you want to gain something. Okay? If you are a person who has made you wrong, I would like you to consciously stop yourself in your tracks and say, What's what am I aware of here? Please ask those questions. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view about me. Hock and pod. I do not want this anymore. And you know what you could do if you're having a bad hair day? You could actually just go, enough is enough. This has got to change.
Or just wear a scarf.
Or just look sexy.
Why not? So, guys, I like what she said. What am I aware of today? So, what have you become aware of? in this
Me
conversation as you
or
listen?
them?
No, I'm asking the listeners, and we'll also discuss. So, what have you become aware of in this conversation?
Oh, I'd love to
Please put
hear
it
that.
in. Yeah, please put that in comments because I really think this was a brilliant conversation that we had. So, what is something that you might have become aware of and that you might want to take some action of? Because awareness without action really leads you nowhere. It just leaves you as that hamster on the wheel.
Yeah. Or a no choice universe.
Absolutely. So I'm going to leave that question there as I thank Jennifer and everybody else. Please put it in comments. And you know why I'm encouraging you to do this is because as you declare, as you type it out, you become more aware of what you are going to plan forward and what you've become aware of. So just do it for yourself. And thank you, Jennifer. What have you become aware of in this conversation?
I've become aware of the different possibilities of awakening the planet through the amazing questions and the responses that I have received today. That we
Beautiful.
are on the brink of true awakening. And you know what? We're not, the main thing that I like to do is what if I was to bring, and that's been my quest, and it's still a quest for me, is I would like to help organizations to become more consciously aware
Hmm.
of how they're dealing with people. Because if you're looking at situations where we have people working in companies, first and foremost, profits, products, people. That's how it used to be. It's about time that something changed. Who is running your business? Your people.
Yep.
Are the people aware about what you're doing? Are they the ambassadors of your organization? So
Hmm.
I help organizations to actually get to that. And it makes such a remarkable shift in how they operate. And the results show up.
Yes, they
So,
do.
yes, I think it's time we're on the brink of amazing possibilities.
Definitely are. And Lata beautifully says, on the brink of a major disruption,
Yeah,
as her
it's a
awareness.
beautiful,
I mean,
beautiful.
it
Yeah,
just came in together. You
yeah,
both
yeah,
literally
yeah.
said the same thing. We've got Abdullah watching. Thank you for watching. He says, life is awareness of self on each step. Yes, it definitely is.
Absolutely correct.
Kunan says, have fun. It's all about interesting POVs. Yes, it is. Thank you
Interesting
for
points of
pointing.
views. Pock and pod,
Yes,
there are a lot of them. Thanks for that,
absolutely.
honey.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. My takeaway is okay, one more coming in. Abdullah says, people will reap their efforts. Yes, they definitely will. Yes, you also definitely will. Every one of us will. Thank you. So, trust the process is something that I've taken in from here. I'm so grateful for this conversation with you, Jennifer. Thank you so, so much for joining us today. And it's been a fabulous conversation, divine.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And
Thank you.
recognize all of you out there, please recognize that you are a gift and you are a miracle walking. It's about getting to know that, and that will make the major difference of how you show up. Know
Yes, it will.
that and show up.
No, that didn't show up. And I just had to include this one. This one came in just now. Vidya says, one of my major takeaways from this session is beware, but don't mind what is not worth my care. I love it. Thank you.
Excellent, Vidya. Good on you, babes. That's the way to go forward.
All right. They're just coming in. Salute. Very powerful insight. Amazing conversation. One of the best of Wise Wednesdays with RK. Guys, we're finishing strong. I'm bringing in powerful people, and I am also going to change the format of the show after episode 100. So watch out for that because
All right.
evolution and growth is all about it. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Jennifer, once
Thank you,
again. It has
everyone.
been beautiful. Have a lovely rest of the evening, day, wherever you are, and get some
God
sleep.
bless.
Yes, God bless.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye
And
bye. Thank
enjoy.
you.
Don't forget to have fun.
Yes, enjoy. Energy plus joy. Enjoy. Thank
Enjoy.
you.
Exactly.
Good night, everybody.
Take care. Thank you.